The rain came down in sheets, turning the marble headstones into mirrors of the gray sky. Alexander Hawthorne stepped out of the black Maybach, umbrella forgotten in the car, letting the water soak his $5,000 coat because he deserved the punishment. He hadn't been here in 3 years, not since the day they lowered his only child into the ground. He walked the familiar path alone. No driver, no bodyguard, no assistant trailing with a phone. Just a 48-year-old billionaire carrying a single white rose and a heart that had never learned how to finish breaking. When he reached the grave, he stopped breathing. A man in a soaked orange rain jacket, the kind the cemetery maintenance crew wore, was on his knees in the mud, head bowed, shoulders shaking with silent sobs. In his arms, a little girl no older than 6 clutched a wilted dandelion bouquet, her tiny face pressed into the janitor's neck as she cried too. They were crying at Mia Hawthorne's grave. Alexander's legs almost gave out. The headstone read, Mia Elizabeth Hawthorne, beloved daughter, March 12, 2015 to September 9, 2022. She laughed like sunrise. He must have made a sound, because the janitor's head snapped up. His face was weathered, maybe late 50s, eyes red-rimmed and terrified. I'm sorry, sir, the man stammered, scrambling to his feet, pulling the child behind him like a shield. We'll go. We didn't mean to. We just. Who are you? Alexander's voice came out raw, dangerous. He hadn't meant it to. The man swallowed hard. Name's Tommy Ruiz. I keep the grounds here. This section especially. He looked down at the little girl clinging to his leg. This is my granddaughter, Lily. Alexander's eyes dropped to the child. Dark curls plastered to her forehead, cheeks streaked with mud and tears. Something in her face, in the shape of her chin, the slope of her nose, made the world tilt under his feet. The little girl peeked out, eyes huge and brown. She whispered, "Hi, Mr. Alex." He staggered back a step. She knew his name. Tommy's hands went up, placating. "I know this looks bad. I can explain." "Start talking," Alexander said, and it wasn't a request. Tommy took a shaky breath. 3 years ago, the day of the funeral, I was working late. Storm had knocked over half the flowers in this row. I came to clean up, and I saw you. You were on the ground, sir. Screaming her name, holding her little teddy bear like it was the only thing keeping you alive. I'd never seen pain like that. Not in 28 years of working cemeteries. Alexander's throat closed. Tommy went on, voice trembling. I didn't bother you. Just fixed the flowers and left. But after that, I don't know. I started checking on her plot every day, making sure it was perfect. Fresh flowers when I could afford them. Talking to her sometimes, telling her about my day. Sounds crazy, I know. It's not crazy, Alexander whispered. Tommy's eyes filled again. Then about a year ago, Lily's mom, my daughter, lost her battle with cancer. Well, she asked me to take Lily. I'm all the kids got. And Lily, she started coming with me to work sometimes. She'd sit right here and talk to Mia. Tell her about school, about how Grandpa burns the pancakes, about how she wishes she had a big sister. His voice cracked. She started calling Mia her big sister in heaven. Alexander looked at the little girl. She was staring at the headstone like it might answer her. He found his voice. Why are you crying today? Lily stepped forward, brave despite the tears. She held out the dandelions. Because today's Mia would have been 10. I wanted to bring her birthday flowers. But Grandpa says dandelions are weeds and maybe she won't like them. Alexander dropped to his knees in the mud, coat ruined. $1,000 shoes sinking into the earth, and took the soggy bouquet with shaking hands. She loved dandelions, he said, voice breaking. She called them wish flowers. Lily's face lit up through the tears. Really? He nodded, unable to speak. Tommy rubbed the back of his neck, ashamed. I'm sorry we intruded, Mr. Hawthorne. We'll leave you alone. No. The word came out fierce. Alexander looked up, rain streaming down his face. Please, stay. And for the first time in 3 years, Alexander Hawthorne didn't visit his daughter's grave alone. They stood there until the rain stopped, 3 strangers bound by one little girl who wasn't there. When the clouds finally parted, Alexander spoke again. Tommy, how would you and Lily like to have dinner with me tonight? Tommy blinked. Sir, I have a chef who makes the best pancakes in Connecticut. And I have a room full of toys that haven't been touched in 3 years. Lily gasped. Mia's toys. Alexander's eyes burned. Yeah, sweetheart, Mia's toys. That was the beginning. Over the next weeks, everything changed. Alexander learned that Tommy was a widower raising his granddaughter on a cemetery groundskeeper's salary. That Lily's mother had died of the same rare leukemia that took Mia. That Tommy had been paying for Lily's dance classes by skipping his own medications. Alexander learned that Lily loved strawberry milkshakes, hated peas, and slept with a stuffed giraffe named Mr. Longneck. And Lily learned that Mr. Alex, the man on the cover of Forbes who looked so scary in pictures, cried when he thought no one was watching, and that he kept Mia's bedroom exactly as she left it, door closed like a shrine. One Saturday, Alexander invited them to the Hawthorne estate in Greenwich. 60 acres, marble floors, a pool the size of a lake. Tommy was terrified he'd track mud on the Persian rugs. Lily just ran straight to the playroom and screamed with joy. That night, after Lily fell asleep clutching a doll Mia had loved, Tommy found Alexander in Mia's bedroom, sitting on the floor surrounded by dolls and Legos. I can't take your money, Mr. Hawthorne, Tommy said quietly. It wouldn't be right. Alexander didn't look up. I'm not offering charity. I'm offering a job. Head of estate grounds. Triple your current salary. Benefits. Housing on the property if you want it. Tommy's mouth opened, closed. Alexander finally met his eyes. I have 12 gardeners, Tommy. But not one of them ever brought my daughter dandelions on her birthday. Not one of them loved her when I couldn't. Tommy started crying then. Grown men crying seemed to be a theme lately. 6 months later, the estate looked different. There were tricycles on the driveway. A swing set where manicured hedges used to be. Laughter in hallways that had been silent for years. Lily called Alexander, Uncle Alex, now. Sometimes, when she was sleepy, just, Alex. And Tommy. Tommy became the older brother Alexander never had. But the real healing came on a crisp October afternoon in September, the anniversary no one wanted to name. Alexander found Lily in Mia's room, sitting cross-legged on the carpet, talking to a photograph. I know you can't play for real, she was saying, but Uncle Alex says you can hear me. So I brought you something. She placed a crooked birthday crown made of construction paper and glitter on the frame. I turned 7 today. Grandpa says 7 is a magic number. So maybe you can visit in my dreams tonight. Just to say hi. Alexander leaned against the doorframe, chest aching in that familiar, terrible, beautiful way. That night, he tucked into the guest room that was quickly becoming her room. Lily whispered to Alexander as he turned off the light. Uncle Alex, do you think Mia's lonely up there? He sat on the edge of the bed, brushed curls from her forehead. I used to think so. But now, I think she's got the best seat in the house. Watching her favorite people finally learn how to live again. Lily considered this. I miss her even though I never met her. Me too, kiddo. Every minute, she yawned. Night, Uncle Alex. Tell Mia I love her. I will, but I think she already knows. Years later, on what would have been Mia's 18th birthday, there was a new stone in the cemetery. Smaller, next to hers. It read, Lily Marie Ruiz Hawthorne, beloved daughter, sister, light. She laughed like sunrise too. Alexander, now 60, hair fully gray, stood between Tommy, who walked with a cane but still insisted on mowing the estate lawns himself, and Lily, now a beautiful 17-year-old in a cap and gown. They laid 2 bouquets that day. One of white roses, one of dandelions. Lily knelt together, no one caring about mud on graduation robes. Alexander spoke to both his daughters, one in heaven, one beside him. I was a billionaire who had everything, he said, voice steady for the first time in decades. Turns out I had nothing. Until a janitor and a little girl taught me that love doesn't end at a headstone. It just changes shape. Lily squeezed his hand. Tommy put an arm around both of them. And somewhere, if you listened very carefully on the wind, you could almost hear 2 little girls giggling, sisters forever, making wishes on dandelions that would never be just weeds again. The rain held off that day. But 3 hearts were soaked anyway. In the best possible way. The message was simple, and it lingered long after the video ended. Sometimes the people who save us are the ones we're meant to save right back. And love, real love, doesn't need blood. It just needs an open door, and the courage to walk through it, carrying nothing but dandelions, and a heart that's finally ready to heal.